So WrestleMania was this past week, right? And throughout the entire weekend, they were showcasing and giving us flashbacks to all of the other wonderful WrestleManias of the past, the great main events that have taken place. And I was like, hold on, man. There's a certain WrestleMania that's taking place on a roof far, far away. There is Rooftop Mania going wild in Wano right now, son. We're talking about a battle that is without question going to change the landscape of the entire world of One Piece from here on out. So I was like, you know what, man? The next opportunity that I get to press the red button, I'm going straight up hot mic style. We're talking about it, man. My hype levels for what's about to take place the next time that we go back to the roof. I know that my boy Oda is going to be doing what he did during the Lucci fight, which is go through everybody else's battles first while showing little bits and pieces of Luffy versus Kaido. And then when all those fights are done and we get to the straight up climax of Onigashima with Luffy and Kaido throwing hands, the entire country waiting to see who is going to win the battle, son, with the true main event. That's when it's going to start popping off and going down, man. I mean, it's already popping off and going down right now. But today, I want to talk about an individual who has had multiple WrestleMania main events. Multiple legendary battles. All 5-star classics. Every single last one. And we're about to see what has the potential to be the very best one out of them all. After all this buildup, from the moment that we entered the new world, the first people that we were introduced to were Kinemon and Momonosuke. From then until now, finding out so many things about Kaido just in Wano by itself, this has been the most built-up battle in the entire series up until this point. Of course, the most built-up battle is going to end up being Luffy versus Blackbeard, or Luffy versus Akainu, if that ends up taking place at some point in time in the final war, or, you know, Shanks versus Blackbeard. Those are the most highly anticipated bouts. But as far as where we're at right now, this is the most anticipated fight, man. Like, the build-up to this moment, to what we're about to see, is just, it's been madness. It has been true madness. Multiple pay-per-views have taken place from Dressrosa to Whole Cake Island, and always in the background lingering was that man with the dragon scales, the long hair, the mustache more finer than mine. Hyakuju no Kaido, ready to go up in like swimwear at a moment's notice. And we saw what happened in their first match. But now things are different. The GOAT has a coat. He is ready to go up in like swimwear. And now with what we saw in chapter 1010, which lived up to its name and being a 10 out of 10 chapter. In that chapter, we saw what's about to take place here, man. And I just wanted to give a little bit of hype for this. Now, I'm not saying any of this is going to happen. I'm just purely booking from a fan standpoint. As an individual who truly loves this series and is a massive fan of Luffy, I want to see some greatness take place on this rooftop. I want to see just how far this can go as far as two top tiers in the verse, two emperors throwing hands. I can't wait to see what's about to take place. And so, listen to me, man. Now, just imagine. I don't know when's the next time we're going to see the rooftop. I don't know if it's going to be after one of the battles has already reached its climax. And what I mean by one of the battles, like Jinbei versus Sasaki, you know, one of those, Black Maria versus Robin, like one of them, after one of those battles finishes, maybe we'll go back and see what's happening on the roof. Regardless of whenever it takes place, the next time that we come to this rooftop, and we continue Roof Piece in what is without doubt going to be an 11 out of 10 chapter, just based on every other Roof Piece chapter we've gotten so far. We're going to come back to the rooftop. The crowd is going to be cheering. I'm going to be there as Luffy's Paul Heyman guy. I'm going to be hyping up my boy to the high flag nards. Electricity running through his veins. No pun intended, because we know he's made of rubber. But the electric black and red hockey. The Ryo / Conqueror's King hockey. And the knowledge that he gained from Hyogoro. Now being pushed into the Conqueror's hockey coding. You know, he's ready to go up in like swimwear. This is what's going to happen, man. I'm calling it right now, son. The next time that we see Luffy versus Kaido on this rooftop, it is going to be the king, right? We're going to see him in a silhouette from afar. You're going to see the wind, several panels, no dialogue, just straight up Luffy looking forward, Kaido getting up. We're going to see the two of them face to face. They're not going to say a single letter of dialogue, and there's going to be no text bubbles needed. All the words that need to be said were already stated. Right now, it's about throwing hands. So the next time that we go back to this, we're going to get a moment where it's going to be a straight up GOAT measurement contest. It is going to be whose bounty is louder, whose crew is greater, who is the emperor of higher levels of magnitude, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have the measuring contest. And what is going to be a double-page spread of Luffy and Kaido going at each other simultaneously and them not touching each other. I'm talking the fist of legend in one hand for the king, right? And then we have the mace, the three realms of Ragnarok, mace, going up. And you're going to see a clash of legend where they're not even going to touch. It's going to be straight up mace versus fist. It's going to stop right there, and you're going to see the entirety of the rooftop just rumbling. You know, what might lead to this moment is the entire rooftop in a similar situation to whenever we saw, you know, things taking place on the roof, Kaido and Big Mom going ham against the Scabbards, and we saw everybody like, yo, what's going up on the roof, man? Like, yo, yeah, things are falling down from the ceiling and whatnot. Wait until Luffy and Kaido start clashing in terms of their hockey. I'm talking straight up Conqueror's hockey, regardless of whether it's the, you know, coming from the eye and they clash with the beam struggle, or if they do it with straight up Roger Whitebeard style and they throw hands, they don't touch, and in the middle of that clash, you have everything. If we get that as just a measurement contest, we leave from that, they both set it apart like, okay, it's time to go in. And that's when they start throwing hands. Now, when it comes to them actually fighting and whatnot, of course, first and foremost, I can't wait to see what Kaido is going to have up his sleeve, because now there's no doubt in my mind that everything that he had been holding back from utilizing until now he knows that he needs to use it if he wants to win this, man. You know, this ain't the Luffy of chapter 923. This is the Luffy of chapter 1010. Like, my man's has the Conqueror's hockey coding. He has the side protection. Thunder Baguas ain't gonna cut it. You know, so he's gonna have to go in hybrid form and deliver something else of the caliber of the three realms, Ragnarok, right? So he's gonna have to go up in like swimwear. And so I can't wait to see what other attacks he's gonna have. My man's is gonna be pulling out moves from Kratos' moveset. I'm talking about straight up Chains of Olympus style, going on from God of War 1 through 4. Dudes is gonna be utilizing all those different types of techniques. We're going to see names of legend. He's going to pull out names from the Avengers. He's going to pull out names from all types of lore. I mean, dude is going to go ham. I can already tell that Kaido's moveset is going to be so filthy after this. When we get a Burning Blood 2, they're going to have to pick the very best of the best. That's how many moves Kaido is about to utilize here, man. And I can't wait to see what Kaido's quote-unquote Rokugan is. So, like, you know how Lucci's Rokugan was always like that one thing where, man, if that hits, it's over. And so I want to know what Kaido's Rokugan is, because I thought it was going to be the Thunder Bagua, but we see that now he's utilizing more techniques. So I want to know what his Rokugan is going to be, to where we're going to be scared. Like, whenever he pulls that out, we're going to be like, holy flag. Like, oh, relax. You know, Luffy, you got to dodge this at all costs. And so really looking forward to seeing what's going to happen on that end and what kind of techniques he's going to utilize, because knowing how fast he is, knowing how he has his Dragon Tail now, and just the moves he's been utilizing so far, both like with his Blast Breath, just now he's able to concisely, you know, pinpoint that in a certain place and release it like a sniper rather than just this massive beam like a Kamehameha. Now you can just, you know, pinpoint and go right up in there. So we see that he's using some older techniques in different ways now, but now I want to see new techniques from both parties, right? But staying on Kaido, I really can't wait to see what he's going to show us in terms of speed, and of course some more strength showcases, because he is the world's strongest creature. So looking forward to seeing what he's going to be doing on that end, how he's going to be able to utilize the weather, you know, how, you know, lightning and all that stuff. So it's going to be dope, considering that none of that's going to matter, considering that Luffy's made of rubber. And so I wonder how he's going to be able to change up his moveset in order to directly impact him, utilizing his Conqueror's coding. because now we're going to have a situation where both of them can truly cause severe damage to each other if they dodge. But what would be so GOAT to me is if they don't dodge, because now we saw that Luffy challenged him already. He was like, yo, why are you dodging? You think I'm gonna knock you out? Why are you dodging? What would be super dope is if from here on out, Luffy and Kaido no longer dodge each other. Like, they can dodge, but they don't, because they're like, yo, we're up here. And if we dodge each other's moves, that is a showcase of weakness. Like, we are taking each other's moves full brunt. I'm talking the fullest force of your attack. I'm taking it and I'm bringing it back to you tenfold. Do you know how hyped that would be, man? On some straight up Yusuke versus Chu stuff from the Dark Tournament. You know, I mean, I would love something like that to take place, man. And so if we get something around those lines, then we will be able to see the full force out front from both of them, right? So that's on Kaido's end. Like, I really can't wait to see more from his hybrid form, how he's going to be utilizing more of, like, his ability to fly and really bring down the force from the heavens, you know, and his speed. Like, I want to see how he's going to be able to do all of that, because we've seen a lot of crazy stuff already from him on the roof. But now that he's going to be focused on one dude, on just the king, we got to see what's going to take place there, man. It's going to be some crazy stuff we're about to see. And we're going to start seeing some Yonko level feats where, just like whenever we were seeing Whitebeard Marineford, it's going to be blowing our minds. I mean, my mind's already been blown from Kaido, but we know the best is yet to come. And I can't wait to see what more he has up his arsenal, because that's going to be nuts, man. But on to Luffy, bro. Listen. Now, the gears have to come into effect. I'm not sure how far he's going to go with the gears. You know, right now we're seeing him go ham in base form, but I want to see what he can do with the gears. Because what's most exciting for me whenever I find out about new abilities in One Piece is how he can utilize them with his other abilities. That's what makes Luffy my favorite fighter to watch. And just to dissect and see exactly what he can do, because he has so many things that he can do. And it is so versatile. And he is such a fighting genius. Luffy's a fighting genius, man. It is nuts. Like, whether it is subconsciously or not, my man is a fighting guru. Dude is out here in the S+ tier of fighters, man. My mans can throw hands. He has it, bro. He has it. And so I want to know how he's going to use, like, is he going to go from base form, then go up to G2? And we see Gear 2nd, how he's able to utilize the Conqueror's Haki coding with the Real Haki in Gear 2nd. You know, utilizing the speed and just how fast those attacks can go, even though they're of course going to be stronger than they are in base form. So I want to know how he's going to continue to preserve his strength, because of course he can't just go all out. He has to pace himself, right? But he knows that if he doesn't go all out, this is Kaido. And so I want to know how he's going to continue to keep the Conqueror's Haki on level, because of course he just started using this ability. There's no way it's going to be mastered. So I want to know how he's going to, you know, go about this, right, and whatnot. And of course, it has to be with the gears. So because this is the big boss of this entire New World Saga so far, he's going to have to utilize every technique that he's ever learned, right? So we're going to be seeing everything in the book. We've already seen the elephant gun that he used against him. We've already seen the Red Hawk earlier in this arc. We saw the new move in the Red Rock. And so now we're going to start seeing everything else in the arsenal, but with Conqueror's Haki coding. And with the Real Haki, now he doesn't have to connect. And if Oda brings in the aspect that I was talking about earlier, where they're not going to be dodging each other's blows, it is going to be something, man. Because we see how much damage he was able to do in base form. Gear 2nd takes that, and then Gear 3rd takes that, and then Gear 4th, bro. When this man goes into Gear 4th, because that is going to be without question where the final climax is going to be. Unless Luffy goes into Gear 5th in this arc, which I'm not entirely sure if he's going to do that in this arc. I don't know if there's going to be another version of Gear 4th, or if he's just going to gain complete mastery over G4 in this arc. In my complete mastery, I'm talking in the middle of all the stuff that is going down when it comes to his Haki, into his gear, so he won't run out of it like he did earlier on. If he's able to stay in Gear 4th and switch at will between Gear 4th, Snake Man, Bound Man, and Tank Man, that is going to be extremely dangerous. With the Conqueror's Haki coding, that is going to be insane, son. Insane. Now, whether that will be enough to take out Kaido, that depends on who you ask, right? I think if they do not dodge each other's blows, they can most certainly be enough to take out Kaido. but then it would have to be on Luffy to also, stay up and have his will be strong enough in order to remain conscious throughout this entire bout, if that's the case. But if it goes beyond even Gear 4th and we get a Gear 5th, or if we get the Awakening, the first parts of the Awakening, because I'm pretty sure if we do get Awakening, it'll only be like a little hint of it, right? Like he'll awaken it, but it won't be mastered to the points of like crocodiles or whatnot, right? Or Dofis. So we would have to see, if we do see it, it's going to be like a hint or like the beginning stages of it is a better way to put it. But if we see Gear 5th in this fight, man, listen, we were just talking about earlier this week was the anniversary of the Legendary Gear 4th chapter. You drop a Gear 5th chapter on top of that, man, and all of us are just going to be speculating, especially if Oda goes on a break, because he always goes on break. He did it for Gear 4th, he did it for Snake Man. Like, he leaves us on his breaks, so we're like, man, what is it going to be? What in the world could this new form be? And so we'll get to that if the time comes. But if Gear 5th comes, bro, we're talking one of the greatest fights of all time is going to be taking place up here against Kaido, man. And it's going to be so much fun. I can't wait to see the new techniques Luffy's going to use up here. Gear 5th aside, even if he just stays within just Conqueror's Haki coding, Rio Haki, and base form Gear 2nd, Gear 3rd, Gear 4th, and we see every single thing that those things have to offer, that those forms have to offer, with now the Conqueror's Haki coding on top of that, we're going to be seeing some nasty stuff, especially if he starts bringing out some new techniques, which we know how Luffy is. Luffy learns from techniques utilized by other people or by other things. It's something from his creative side that I really enjoy. Like from the pinwheel, for example, how he learned how to use Sodu and implement that into his Gear 2nd style because he was able to, his body was able to keep up with it at that point, right? In his own way. And so I want to know if he's going to have that from Kaido. Like, will he be able to utilize something like a Thunder Bagua, but in his own way? Like his own Raime Hake, right? That'll be like a new version, Conqueror's Haki coded. I don't know if it'll be in Gear 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, but his own version of that. Or maybe that's what the Red Rock was. But regardless, if it's not, then maybe his own version of that or whatever. Like, I wonder how Luffy's going to utilize everything that he's seen in this arc so far, or in the saga so far, and utilize that within this arc to create these new abilities. So that's going to be super exciting, man. Like, I want to know what is going to be that final attack. Like, there's been so many iconic final attacks and final sequences, man. I think my favorite one, it's tough. I think it's between the Ogun Rifle and the Jet Gatling. Just, dude, listen, man. I think it's going to be an Ogun Rifle in terms of scale. The Ogun Rifle in terms of scale, it was huge. Like, when Kaido was defeated, the whole world knew when that bell rang. And it caused for an incredible moment, because that's when they realized, man, you think back to Jaya, you get that amazing double page spread. One of my favorite spreads in the entire series. One of my favorite chapters in the entire series. Shout out to Skypiea. You can't fail to mention the arc that Big Mom clearly skipped. But within that same breath, man, if we do get an Ogun Rifle scale attack, and I'm talking like, there's been the theory that I always love talking about that was brought up on the One Piece podcast quite a couple of years ago on their website, where Luffy was riding on top of an adult dragon form Momonosuke, taking on Kaido, as they are fighting in the air, because I think Luffy now has to showcase, if he is fighting Kaido one-on-one, Kaido, I was told by the narrator, if it is one-on-one, bet on Kaido in land, sea, or air. So this battle is going to have to move from land to sea to air. And so if air is the final part, I mean, we're currently quote-unquote in the air because Onigashima's floating, but if he literally means in the air, where Kaido is going to be up in the air and Luffy needs somebody to push him up there, what better than an adult dragon form Momonosuke, right? That's why I've always loved that theory. But regardless of that, regardless of whether he stays on his feet or if he has Momonosuke with him, Yamato, I don't know. But what I can tell you is that I think that final attack is going to be on the scale of the Ogun Rifle that he used against Enel. Because I feel like everyone has to see when he gets defeated. Everyone saw when Lucci was defeated with the Jet Gatling. Everybody saw when Crocodile was defeated with the Storm, and everybody saw when Crocodile was defeated too with the King Kong gun. But I feel like right now within this fight, and because of where they are and whatnot, we have to get a moment where the attack is so huge, and I'm talking about in scale, like the Ogun rifle is big, but that's only because of what was attached to it, right? I'm talking in terms of how far my man's is going down. You know what I mean? Like King Kong gun style, where like Crocodile was up in the air, not Crocodile, Doflamingo was up in the air, and he got sent all the way into the middle of Dressrosa. So I'm talking something like that, man, where if, let's just say Onigashima is still up, or whether it's crashing down, it crashes down, whatever, Luffy's gonna have to punch that man. Whatever it's gonna end up being, whatever the attack ends up being called, I don't know if it's dragon something, you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be something heat. You know, I don't know if it's gonna be a word on play, or a play on words in, like, the Paradise Totsuka from Odin, or whatever the case may be. But whatever ends up hitting him, that thing has to send Kaido flying from one section of Onigashima to the other side of Wano. You know, every single person is going to see Kaido's body flying. Every human being who draws breath in both Onigashima and the Flower Capital is going to see Kaido's body flying across the air, man. That's all I'm trying to say. All right, so in terms of that, in that level of scale, we have to get an attack like the Ogun rifle again, man. It's got to be done, dude. Either that, or we get something like a Jet Gatling, where it could be like a multitude of hits until Kaido is just completely knocked unconscious and he gets sent all, like, flying all the way to the Flagnards. And that, everyone sees him flying in that type of way, but it's just exciting, man. Like, so many different possibilities. And Luffy versus Lucci for so many years was my favorite fight. And I think it honestly, it gets so hard, man, right? Because I love different fights in One Piece for different reasons. Like, I love the rivalry aspect of the Katakuri fight. I love the Luffy and Lucci fight for the hands, because it was, oh my god. And then the emotions behind it. Luffy versus Usopp, of course, for obvious reasons. But the thing about the Lucci fight that has always stuck out to me is just because of the way that both characters are. And because of the way that fight went with hybrid form Lucci, Gear Second Luffy, and just the hands, man, the choreography in both the manga and the anime, just the way that it was done, I was like, dude, this is so GOAT. And because that was the final arc that I watched the anime on before I switched over to the manga, it's always had a very lasting impression on me. And same thing with the manga, right, where you go back and reread Legendary Volume 44, and you just look back at some of those panels and how they're choreographed. You're like, man, dude, like, I want to see another fight with an individual who can go in, who is a Zoan, who can enter a hybrid form, so we can see something like this again. And so for it to be Kaido, you know, on the grandest scale of them all, this is rooftop mania. Every single person who is alive is gonna hear of what takes place here. If Luffy takes down Kaido, which he will, every single human being on the planet of One Piece is gonna know Luffy's name, because he's gonna be an emperor. He already is. He's already the 5th Emperor of the Sea, but wait until this arc ends and everyone puts respect on his name as being the individual that took down Kaido, bro. That needs to be something that we have to see before our very eyes, right? We gotta see how Luffy was able to go from point A and getting one-shotted to point Z and ponying Kaido. And right now he's already halfway there. We saw what he did last week with the incredible, you know, Hajime no Ippo style, send those fast, you know? So we got to see what else is going to be in store, man. But I'll tell you what, dude, I am so hyped for this upcoming Luffy and Kaido fight. Like, this has been the one fight slash scenes that I had been looking forward to, specifically for the acknowledgement of Luffy finally being recognized as an emperor on these seas, because he has to do it by taking on one of the, especially if it's the world's strongest creature, right? But now, after seeing what has taken place here, it's just, as someone who just loves fights, as someone who loves battles, I just can't wait to see what's about to take place, man. It reminds me when I first got into One Piece, and I was so excited every time we entered a new arc and I would see the main villain, and I'd be like, man, I can't wait to see how Luffy beats this guy, bro. I can't wait to see how this dude falls to the king. And Luffy would always have a brand new technique to show off there, man. Like, and I'm talking through all the series. Like, I would always be highly anticipating how he's going to beat this one. And it was always extremely satisfactory. You know, just those punches, man. They have a level of satisfaction to them that are second to none. Or the kicks or whatever it is that finishes them off. It's always a blast. But to have that on this scale against an Emperor, it's just the possibilities are out of this world. To know that Oda has been wanting to draw this arc for so many years. We know that he has something crazy planned in mind, beyond imagination as this arc has been so far. But to have the climax, we haven't even reached the best. What these past couple of chapters have shown me, as I continue to state, is that the best has truly yet to come. And so if the best is going to be in the climax, where every single other fight is peaked, every fight in One Piece, in terms of Luffy's main event fights, they've all peaked at the very end. So why not Luffy versus Kaido? We're about to see the very best fighting, choreography, stakes, all of that on this roof the next time we come back to Roof Piece. And I can't wait for it, man. The goat in a coat versus Hyakuju no Kaido in a one-on-one at Rooftop Mania. The next time we come back to that, man, you already know, sand hats flying, Jordan jerseys blowing off the heat. But it's going to be a blast. But for now, I'm pretty sure we're going to switch over to see what everybody else is up to. And I cannot wait to see how their battles are going to take place, what else they're going to learn, how we're going to see them get out of certain situations and win those one-on-one battles that they're going to be taking place in. Because they're extremely important as well, just like CP0. The member from CP0 stated, where like he was like, yo, the battles below the roof are just as important as the battles on top. Everyone needs to win theirs in order for this to be a complete victory here, man. And so with the level of difficulty here, with the strong individuals that we're facing, and with the level of intrigue in each individual fight, it's going to be a really exciting time, man. And I can definitely say that we're about to get a stretch very similar to that at the end of Enies Lobby, where we got all these different battles that all went in several different directions, but they all peaked at the very end, and all of them had extremely amazing final finishes for each individual battle, and of course with Luffy versus Lucci's battle ending in such an amazing way. But we're about to enter a stretch like that here, man. This is about to be like that 2 to 3 to 4 or whatever volume stretch of just straight up Straw Hats going up in like Suomor and showcasing everything they learned through in the middle of the 2 years, and then after that. And that's going to be super exciting. Can't wait for the end battle flashbacks. Can't wait for the, you know, the greatness of each individual Straw Hat, all of them getting their own moments. I mean, it's going to be a good time, bro. It's going to be a good time. Whole bunch of action, emotional scenes. We're ready for it, man. And then, but when we get back to the main event and we get that Luffy versus Kaido greatness, it's going to be straight up goated, man. But yo, I just wanted to come on here, press the red button, and talk about the possibilities for the future, because it's been rent-free in my head since I read chapter 10. And I know I'm not the only one, man. I mean, that chapter was just so amazing for just as a fan, man. Seeing how far Luffy and Zoro have come. The fact that my man Luffy can now coat his fists in the same way that Roger could his sword is the coolest thing ever, man. And I just can't wait for more, dude. With just how the Roof Piece greatness has been so far. I mean, it's just been, every chapter is better than the last. And it's like, dude, how are we going to keep this up? But it's continued to do so. It's absolutely amazing, man. But yo, I will see y'all next time. Let me know what your hype and expectations are for this upcoming Luffy versus Kaido fight. And if you have anything to say on what was said in this video, whatever it is, man, I would love to hear about it in the comment section down below. No chapter this week, but that doesn't mean that we can't keep the hype train going, man. I'll see y'all next time. Y'all have a blessed day. One Piece greatness. Luffy versus Kaido, man. I'm telling y'all right now, son. Gonna end up being top 1 until something else dethrones it, bro. It's gonna be a battle of legend, man.